Hi, Brianna here. So I'm a little over 3 months on HRT now, and this is about the point where MtF changes start to be noticeable. And I can tell you that I've seen my butt and boobs start growing in just 3 months, particularly the last month. But the 3 month point, it hasn't been long. And it does feel like things are taking forever. And that can be a little hard to cope with. The thing is though, you can only really see growth when comparing today to this time last week or to last month, not today versus yesterday. I mean, biology can only happen so fast after all. And that's the frustrating bit. It really can only happen so fast. At the moment, as far ahead as I can think is about 2 or 3 months time when I get my next blood work done and see the GP again. That will take me to almost 6 months on the HRT, and by that time some changes should be visible to those around me. And I'll need a new prescription for my hormones too. But what's next? Well, like I said, that's pretty much as far ahead as I can really see, because that's about as far ahead as I can think. For me, that's an ADHD thing. I have a certain amount of time blindness, and that kind of time period is it. Unfortunately, I don't know if it makes the waiting for HRT to do its stuff better or worse. Trying to think further ahead, like 6 months, is really grey to me. And when I see other transgender women try to describe later milestones, it tends to go in one ear and out the other. It's too nebulous to me, it's too variable, and really it's because I'm not there yet. I mean, the whole point of these vlogs is to chronicle my journey for people following behind. So, on the other hand, sometimes looking ahead can make sense. I've seen pics from a trans female friend who was visibly different in her selfies by about 12 months. And she kept changing markedly for another year or two. I mean, this seems typical, but it is a sample size of 1. However, the bit that caught my eye when writing it was 2 years. Yeah, things are going to take a couple of years. I've heard that a lot. There's no avoiding it. Natural puberty takes upwards of a decade, remember, and I've heard that transgender puberty is both faster and slower. Faster in that a lot of the basic major changes will happen within 3 to 5 years, which still feels like a long time sometimes. But slower because the tail end will last longer, especially if you're older, because older people have a slower metabolism. Like I said earlier, biology can only change so fast. So I feel like I ought to say sorry at this point, but maybe I can help you find a bright spot. One of the things I'm really struggling to do, and I know this is hard, is to look suitably female. A lot of that at my age is just going to be relying on the HRT softening my face. That it can take 2 years, actually that kind of gives me some hope. I can kind of think in terms of 1 year or 2 years, well, a bit better than I can think in terms of 3 months or 6 months. I mean, I've been used to yearly birthdays for all 50 years after all. So maybe it might feel far off, but it does give me something to look forward to. And whilst I still have to navigate from now then, it is something fairly concrete. And I can hold on to that. Maybe you can too.